good morning. This is Aurora with superchargedscience.com. Homeschool science resources, curriculum, lessons, everything you need to get real hands-on experience for your kids so they can get a real excited future for themselves. Okay, exciting future for themselves. I actually woke up here. Look at this. We are in Wyoming and just outside the Yellowstone National Park on the east side. We've got a rushing river. We have tons of animals and creatures and plants, flora and fauna everywhere. And what better place to learn how to use one of these than out in nature, the way a real scientist does. So I'm going to show you step by step how to use one of these, and also what do you do if you don't have a compound microscope. So since we are by the river, I thought we would take a sample. You don't want to take it from the rushing part because there's not going to be too many goodies in it as much as when there's a standing water. So you see lots of movement here. What you're going to look for is you're going to look for some water here that isn't moving. You kind of see that? So kind of maybe like a tide pool almost, but for rivers. Okay, so I went ahead and took a sample already. I put it in a little water bottle so I would have it here for me. But basically all you need is if you happen to have disposable droppers like this, you can grab yourself a little sample, and all you need is one drop. That's it. And if you don't, you dip your hand in and then sprinkle, and whatever lands on your slide works too. So that's an easy way to do it as well. Okay, so let's talk first what you do if you don't have a compound microscope. You know, a lot of families, they don't know if they should buy one. They don't, maybe it's out of budget, or maybe they're thinking when the kid's in high school, that's great. Compound microscope is actually one of those few things that when you purchase it, it'll last them through till they get to college. And then when they're in college, if they really love biology and this is like their field, they can buy themselves a new one. So typically they cost about $150 to $250 for a good quality one. And I'll give you some distinctions on that in just a minute. But if you don't have one, all you need are two handheld magnifying lenses, and they don't even have to be the same. What they do need is they need to have a little stamp on them or a sticker that tells you what the magnification is. And actually, if you don't care about magnification, then you don't even need that. So I'm going to set this up here and show you exactly how to do this because it's super simple. Now on this tree here, you see there's a tag? Okay, so we're going to use that so it's easy to see. So what you do is you take you take one lens and you find where it focuses. You kind of see that? Okay, and you kind of do it for each lens to get a feel for where the focus is. And then, now by the way, these lenses have a bump in the middle. So if you run your finger over it, it's got a bump. Okay, so these are convex lenses. Okay, and that's the kind of lens that you want. Concave are the ones that curve inwards. Convex are the ones with a bump on that curve outwards. Okay, so back to doing this. So here, let me see if I can get this. I really need three hands is what it turns out to look like here. Hang on just a second. Don't know if I'm going to be able to do this, but let me try. Okay, so basically the idea is you're going to bring one lens over whatever it is you're looking at, and then you're going to bring another lens on top and focus them. So let me put this so you can actually see me doing it. Okay. All right, so here's what we're looking at. Let me tilt it up just a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one lens here. Okay, now it looks a lot bigger. This says 4x on the handle. And then we're going to bring this one in on top. This one says 5x. Okay, so what's 4 times 5? 20. So now when I look through the top one here, I'm looking at 20x. This is a compound microscope. This is exactly what this fancy thing over here is doing. This guy, same exact thing. Let me bring it over to where we were here. Okay. The one I had on the bottom is, without going into fancy terminology, it's this lens down here. See these rotate? Okay. And the one on the top, this one that I used here, is this lens. And this one is removable, and you can put different ones in here. This one happens to say 10x. Okay. So I happen to use a 5x instead. And these are interchangeable down here. See how I can change them? And each one of these is a different magnifier. So that's how you can make a quick and simple handheld, sorry about my hand, a quick and simple compound microscope. Suppose you do have one of these. Now what do? Okay, super simple. All you need to do is you need to drop a pond water. If you've never used one of these before, here is the quick start guide. Let me get my slides here. Okay, and I'll put this in the sun. Okay. Okay, and I'll set you up here. So I have my microscope here. Let me tilt this down just a little bit. Okay, so I have the microscope here. And so all I'm going to do is, the first thing you do is you always lower the stage. This is the stage. You're always either going to lower it, or my stage doesn't lower, but this nose and the whole piece comes up. So I'm going to make it as high as it can go. And then I'm going to get my sample. So I have that's the wrong kind. Okay, so I have a slide, and all I'm going to do is get a dropper full of material, which I happen to have in this bottle here. I already did my collection. Now, by the way, if you want to keep this and grow even more critters, you can just grab a handful of any like dried grass or anything that this came from, and stick it in, and then cap it and put it on the windowsill for about 2 weeks. And you'll have a really good growth of all kinds of microorganisms. Okay, and then we're going to put one drop on the slide, just like that. Okay, and then we have something called a Coverslip, which is a tiny piece of glass. And the Coverslip's job is to flatten out that water drop, so it's not so three-dimensional. And the way to do it is, it's really easy to break these. They're really small. The way you do it is you put the edge into your drop, drag it over, and then add a 45, and then drop it down. So you have that. And I'm going to put this in my stage. Okay. I've got some mechanical arm on here. This will help me move it. Let me show you. This will help me move it. So I can just twist these here, and it moves. Okay? I don't know if you could see that, but okay. Let's see here. Let's see if I can put it back where it was. So if you're a field scientist, I highly recommend a holder for your phone while you're trying to show people what to do. Okay, now what you're going to do is you're going to look in the eyepiece here. At the same time, while you're looking, your hand is going to go on the knob. The larger knob is coarse adjust, and the smaller knob is fine adjust. So your hand goes on the coarse adjust, your eyeball goes in here, zoom out a little bit, and you're going to start to look. Now, if you have, let's see, you want to put it on the lowest setting, which is, for me, it's a 4. Okay, so this is a 4X down there. Okay, and then, now mine has, if yours has electrical power, you simply plug it in. Mine doesn't. Mine has a little mirror. See the mirror down there? Okay, so what I need to do, and the mirror has two sides. Usually one side is flat and one side is curved. Let's use the flat side. Okay. So normally what I do is you want to put it in sunlight. Here, let's move more in sunlight here. Okay, so put it in full sun. Okay, and the idea is you want to catch the light, have it bounce off the mirror and come, bounce off the mirror and come straight up through that hole in your stage. Okay, so what that means is that you're going to be fiddling with this while you're looking in the eyepiece. Here, drop this down a bit. While you're looking in the eyepiece, you're going to fiddle with this until it's as bright as can possibly be, and that's how you know that you've got it completely open. Okay, so I'm going to fiddle with this until, whoop, oh, there it was. And we're going to bring it up. Okay, so we're just trying to get the beam of light to go through. Now, on the bottom of my microscope, let's see if you can see this, I have a little wheel that I can turn. Here, can you see it here? This actually will limit the amount of light that goes through, because sometimes you want to limit it so it looks better, because sometimes you've got too much light. So I'm going to put it on the setting. For me, it's this setting that allows the most amount of light to go through. Okay, that'll make it a lot easier for me to adjust and see. So I'm going to move this plant. Just move him down a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to adjust. Here. Let's try the curved side. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, so there's a ton of light coming through. As I'm looking, my hand is on the course adjust. I bring it up. Whoop. Bring the stage up or bring the column down until something comes into focus. Oh, there we go. Oh my, there's a lot of guys swimming around in here. Okay, so let me adjust the mechanical stage. I'm going to adjust my lights if I can get just a little bit more in. Just like that. Perfect. Okay, and now you should be able to see things when you look in here. Now, I can try to show you what I can see in my camera, but chances are it's not going to work very well. I can just take some pictures and I'll post those. That might be better. So that is how you use this. So very simply, just to go over it again, you want to lower the stage all the way first, or you can raise up this piece. Put your slide on. Make sure your iris, which is on the bottom, is allowing the most amount of light. Okay, turn on your power switch or look in here to see if you can get the light to shine through that pole. That's pretty much the hardest part, fiddling with that. And then you're going to use the lowest power setting. Always start with the lowest. And then either bring this column down or bring the stage up using coarse adjust. And then use your fine adjust once you start to see things. Now if this is on a table, some of these kick back like this so kids can see it easier. And sometimes you'll see two places to look in here. That's got a teaching head, so a teacher can help with students as well. Okay, so that should get you started with your field studies. Again, this is Aurora with Supercharged Science, and we are doing hands-on real-life experiences for kids to get them crazy wild about their futures and about what's possible for them to learn and do and in real science, and not just study it from a book, but to actually be in the field, because this is where the magic is. And so if you have questions, or if you would like to go, if you like this and you want more, go to my website. There's a whole bunch of downloads you can get. There's free classes that I give online all the time, live classes and classes in marine biology, in life science, earth science, you name it. There's physics, chemistry, biology, everything you need for K through 12 for hands-on science. My website is www.superchargedscience.com, and I am Aurora, and I will see you next time.